Can we make self-belief? And how can chemistry and Will Smith be the answer? Okay, so today we're going to look at 3 effective ways to make self-belief. So whether you want to create the next best series on Netflix, whether you want to double your earnings or live a fulfilled life, this is going to really help you start to make that transformation in believing in yourself so that you can make it happen. And if you like the idea of creating and living and earning just the way that you want, you may want to consider subscribing to this channel because that's what we're all about here. Okay, so Will Smith. What does Will Smith have to do with making self-belief? I think he is such a great person to listen to when it comes to self-belief. The way that he talks about it is so inspiring. He says something very specific, which is he wants to be considered an idea rather than an icon. And this is a really great place to start first. So what do I mean by this, or what does he mean by this, that he wants to be considered an idea rather than an icon? Well, a really great place to start to make self-belief is to look at people who are in positions that you want to get to. So there's a real difference between looking at someone who's an icon and looking at someone who's an idea. If we're looking at someone who's an icon, we have this sense of like, oh, they're just so amazing. They've got something really special. We almost don't see them as human. We see them as like this magical, gifted entity. We don't really imagine that they have a brain and a body and feelings and thoughts and sensations just the way that we do. So when Will Smith says that he wants to be considered an idea, he's inviting you, rather than to look at his fame, to look at his philosophy, look at his ideology. And that's how we start to make our self-belief. We look at people who are achieving those awesome creative dreams that we want, and we start to look at their philosophy. We start to read interviews, but mine those interviews for their thinking processes, for things that they believe in, for practices that they use. And so we're seeing them as a human, and we're relating to them, and we're seeing ourselves as human and just like them, and therefore able to take on the actions and the thoughts and the habits that they have. So that's the first area that we can start to make self-belief, by looking at those icons that we admire and by making sure that we're focusing on their ideas or their philosophies or their practices. Second area that we can make self-belief. So here's the chemistry. Alchemists had a belief that you could turn lead into gold. And so this is a really nice idea to adopt when we're thinking about making our own self-belief. Because here's the thing, say we do have an audacious dream that we want to create a hit series on Netflix, but then we think to ourselves, oh, I don't know, I just don't have that confidence. And so because we've got this little niggle, we think, I'm not going to make it, I don't have self-belief. But when we come with this attitude of chemistry, we understand that that niggle or that lack of confidence is the lead, which we can then, with alchemy, transform into gold. So how do we do this? So the first step is to understand the way that you're labeling things. So whether you're labeling a thought or whether you're labeling a physical sensation or an emotion. So it might be that I am working on a one-woman show, but I'm feeling really down about it. I'm feeling really heavy and unmotivated. So here's how I'm labeling it. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling heavy, I'm feeling unmotivated. So that's the lead. And it is lead, it is heavy. I've got unmotivated, down, and heavy. So the chemistry is where we start to transform those labels into gold. So I might come back to my body and I might look within and be like, okay, how can I relabel this? And it might be like, oh, I'm hungry. Or, oh, I'm in need of some fresh air. Or, oh, I feel like I want to do some exercise. And so we're being very creative in how we relabel that experience within our body that then shifts us from that place of lead into that place of gold. And we can do the same with the way that we're labeling our thoughts. So we might be hearing a thought in our mind, which is, you're not good enough, it's never going to happen. Who are you to have this dream? Who do you think you are? So again, we can take these thoughts and we can be like, okay, here are my thoughts. Here's the way I'm labeling things. I'm labeling with, I'm not good enough. I'm labeling with, who do I think I am? I'm labeling with, it's never going to happen. So how can I turn that lead into gold? So you're not good enough might be, there's a way to go to improve. I need to learn this skill in order to become the athlete that I want to become. The who do you think you are? It might be, right now, I don't know who I am. So I'm on a beautiful discovery of who I am and what my potential is. It might be that we relabel the it's never going to happen to it's going to be more possible tomorrow, or in a week's time, I'll know more than I did today and I'm going to be a week closer to my dream. So do you see, we're really making very powerful transformation by not accepting this one interpretation of our thoughts or our feelings. And here is where we create that that flexibility. And here's where we make self-belief. We go from a feeling that feels heavy to a feeling that says, I need to get up and move. We go from a thought that says, I'm not good enough, to a thought which is, what skill do I need to learn next? And when we take action on these pieces of gold that we've transformed, we then start to grow and make our self-belief. Okay, so the third one, we're back to Will Smith. So Will Smith had something that he said in an interview which really made me laugh. He said, I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. And I was just like, I so knew what he meant. Like, this guy, he hustles. He really hustles. This is why I love watching Will Smith videos when it comes to self-belief, because he's very open about the fact that he's like, I'm not gifted, I'm nobody special, but I will just work harder than anybody else. He's like, if I'm on a treadmill and you're on a treadmill, I know who's going to win. It's going to be me, or I'll die. In which case I'll be dead, so I won't know. So that simple fact that he's not afraid to die on a treadmill, he's not afraid to keep working, to keep working, to keep working. And so here's that final place that we can make our self-belief. It's to absolutely non-negotiably know that we will not stop. Now, there's a certain nuance that I think really helps with this. And the first thing is, if we are hustling, if we are working, if we are making effort, it's really important to make sure that we're looking at our past results in a way that's going to inspire us. Because if we're on this never-ending treadmill, but we're looking back at the past with a sense of, I never seem to get anywhere, we're going to be on that treadmill hustling, but with the belief that it's not going to get us anywhere, and that's not going to make self-belief. In fact, it's going to do the opposite. So what we want to make sure is that we have acknowledged our achievements in the past. So the reason that Will Smith is able to say, I'm prepared to die on a treadmill, because he's had success of how his hard work has led him to having good results. So again, if you're going to get really clear about, what your treadmill is it writing every day? Is it making music every day? Is it working on your business idea every day? You need to have an example in the past of a time that your hard work has produced a good result. And so that's going to fuel you to keep going, to keep hustling. So that's that final one, to make sure that you've got a great example of where hard work paid off, and to keep making your self-belief by repeating to yourself that you will keep taking action, that you will keep going on that treadmill, and that understanding that it isn't just about some innate talent that you either have or don't have. It's about our efforts being rewarded. And that is so key, to understand that that hard work is going to develop your skills, it's going to develop your confidence, it's going to make self-belief, so that eventually you know that you will achieve your audacious creative dream. If you do have an audacious creative dream and you are really looking to learn more about how you can create and live and earn just the way that you want, then please take a look at my free masterclass. It's designed for writers and creative entrepreneurs. It's free. It's a 45-minute masterclass, and it's going to give you some excellent tools and techniques for making sure that you live a beautifully creative life, earning what you want and living the way that you want. So I will drop a link below. It's going to take you through to a page where you can sign up, and we will send you the free class straight away. I really hope you enjoy it. Great to share today's content with you. Really wishing you loads of luck and loads of success with making your self-belief, and I'll see you next week. Take care.